there, welcome back to the channel. So I feel like my song got a lot better after remembering it, that I recorded it and rediscovering it, and then sort of extrapolating, bits and pieces out of it, cleaning it up, figuring out which tracks were the best. Sounds like a song, especially an album track. Right now I can't be too choosy because I've got to write 5 more songs, and I hate doing that. I hate being like on a writing schedule. I like them to just happen, but I would like to get this finished so I have another record done, go out and play some new shows with like a new record, as opposed to just playing the old one. I feel like it's more legit when you got like a couple records under your belt. You're like starting to happen as an artist. You got a catalog of sorts, to play for people. So I wanted to get through another one, get it out. And plus I really like recording. I feel like I'm getting better at it, so I want to keep going with it. And I really like the idea of documenting it here on this channel. If nothing else, I'm not really that concerned. You don't ever have to like my videos or necessarily subscribe. It's not necessary because the information is free and I'm going to always provide it for free. And if it helps someone, that's all that matters. You get help and, give back wherever you can give back. That's more important than like likes and subs and all that stuff. But the thing I do like about the channel is that it documents the experience in a way that I've never thought would be so helpful, I guess. Because going back to the videos, I'm like, oh yeah, I can't believe I did that. I forgot that I did that. And on the first record I made on the Zoom, I kept like a digital diary, like I would just say what I did on the, and I actually can't find it right now, but I would say what I did, what day I did it, what I recorded, what it was for, and just kept a record of it so that I would know, okay, on this date this happened, that kind of thing. That's sort of been replaced, by the video documentation, which is more work, but a lot better way to sort of document the experience. So what I was thinking of doing is that I've had people contact me and ask me, hey, did that first record you made as Dynamite Death Chair? Because I've been in other bands before, but this is the first time I ever did like a solo album, where I played all the records by myself. I mean, all the instruments by myself on the record. And that was mainly by necessity. It wasn't like I was desiring to do that particularly. I saw 2 things that inspired me to do this. So whatever you're inspired by out there, really take it seriously and run with it. The first one was 2 videos I saw, 2 classic album videos. I don't know if they make those anymore. But this is back in the DVD era, probably 15 years ago. I was watching the Phil Collins one on his solo record, his first solo record, and the Frank Zappa one about the making of Overnight Sensation and Apostrophe. His first 2 records after the original Mothers dissolved or disbanded. He disbanded the original hippie Mothers, the 60s Mothers, with all the original guys, Jimmy Carl Black and all those guys, and replaced them with better musicians, and recorded, these were the sort of, after Hot Rats, these are the first couple of solo records. And I watched that video, must have watched it 100 times, just to sort of take in what it was that he was doing. And so then I started reading about Zappa recording Captain Beefheart for Trout Mask Replica. He produced that record. And he originally did a version of that in a house on an 8-track portable open reel deck. And so that fascinated me because I've done recordings on those before. And so I wanted to do that. I wanted to record on tape. So I got myself a Tascam TSR-8. I had a Tascam 38-8. And they were cool units and they're fun. And they're alright. But they really were very frustrating because, that long story. But the inspiration of the Zappa video and the Phil Collins video, he also recorded his entire record by himself on a British, I forgot the name of the company, a really nice looking 8 or 16, I think it was his was a 16 track. Man, that thing was a cool looking machine. I forgot the name of it. But that was really inspirational. I was like, oh wow, learn how to do all this stuff. Not only learn how to play the instruments yourself and sing yourself and write yourself, but learn how to record as well. And learning how to mic things and all that stuff. But I ended up just really annoyed with the analog units because they would break constantly, and it was really difficult to find Tascam technicians in town, and then when you would finally find one and take it there, it would take like 2 months to fix it. You get this machine back, you start trying to record again, it breaks again. And also the recording quality was kind of poor, mainly because I was a neophyte, and you don't get any help like you do with like a machine like the Zoom when you're recording on analog. You got to just know how to do it, understand, you know, all the things that come up. So out of frustration, I started looking around at what's a unit that would kind of act like an analog unit, like a board, that I could record like it was analog, but it would be digital just because there's no way around the digital thing. Also, getting tape became really annoying. So, yeah, that's when I went with the Zoom. And at the time, I was not yet documenting any of this on video. So what I thought I would do was just hook the Zoom up to the computer, go into that record, and just show you what it was that I did. Because I get a lot of, not a lot, but I get messages. Most of the messages I get are questions about what did you do here, what did you do there. And people started asking me about my record, which is called Die Some. The band's called Dynamite, Death Chair, Die Some, and I decided to do this, like I said, out of necessity. I play with guys live. I play with some amazing musicians, and I have for years. And I've also written with Mark Skinner and his brother, John. And so I've had songwriting partners, and I've always been the worst musician in every band I've been in compared to these amazing guys that I play with. But I decided out of necessity, because I was in a different town, I wasn't around any of my band members. They were doing other things, sometimes playing with other people, you know, and so I knew I was isolated and I had to do it myself. So I did it myself, and it was a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people would like to do that and have thought of doing it. And once you get the bug for doing it, it becomes, you know, a fun challenge. So I wanted to just go through and show you what I did with this record, since people have been asking me about it. Did you record that entire record on the Zoom? And indeed I did. I think the record sounds okay. It's not the greatest sounding record in the world, but it serves its purpose. The main inspiration that I had going into this, especially this particular song, was probably like Iggy Pop. I would say that was if I really listened to it, I go, yeah, that was definitely me trying to do like a Iggy Stooges type of thing. And also Iggy's later solo stuff, like stuff from like The Idiot, Lust for Life, especially Lust for Life. But then there's a record called Soldier that has a song called I Need More, and I think that is kind of what influenced the song Die Some, because the drums are triplets. They just kind of drive the whole way through. The guitar riff is like your basic power chord nothing thing that just descends the whole way. And I know I must have picked that up from Iggy, because if you go all the way back to I Want to Be Your Dog, that's what's happening there, which is so unique and amazing when it first came out. So that was the main thing. But the album in general, I was trying to do like a Roy Thomas Baker, like Candy-O Cars thing, or what was done with Cheap Trick with Jack Douglas on their first record. That's probably the biggest inspiration of my whole life, is that first record by Cheap Trick. That's astounding. And then the other band that kind of is like a bookend of that sound is the Cars for me. And I really like Candy-O. That thing is magic. And I think Rick Ocasek is pretty underrated, along with Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick, the songwriter. They're both amazing. And it's like, I think they've gotten a lot of due and a lot of respect, but not enough, you know, for how amazing they are. Okay, so that's what made it happen. And I did the whole thing on the Zoom. I used my trusty microphones here. I've got a AKG P220 condenser mic. I've got this set of Cascade Fatheads ribbon mics, and that's what I use for the overheads on the drums. And I use this condenser mic for the snare and for vocal. And for the bass drum, I've got this CAD mic here. It's a bass drum mic. It's the KBM 412. So it's a total of 4 microphones that I use on this record and the newest record. Very simple setup. So I basically do Recorder Man, Glenn Johns on the, sorry, let me just get this closed. I do Recorder Man, Glenn Johns on the drums, which is just a bass drum here, overheads, one on this side, one over here, and then a snare mic. On guitars, I typically put 2 microphones here. These are 2 different type of speakers, so you get kind of a variance in tone, and I usually split them out. Bass, I usually record direct with the tube presetting. And in vocal, I usually use Big Shape, and I use Big Shape on the snare and this first overhead. The first 2 inputs, I use the dual mic setting, and that's Big Shape. That's a big part of the sound of the drums. The snare drum has a real kind of compressed, I was trying to get the Cars kind of drum tone. The David Robinson, like that snare. Really, really woody sounding. I really like that. As opposed to like bonky sounding, it sounds a little detuned with a lot of snare, as opposed to like a more dead kind of gunk. It's more crack. I like the crack. Even though I prefer metal snares, I like the woody tone of a crack. Alright, so what I'm going to do, let's just go inside the Zoom real quick, where everybody wants to be. Inside the Zoom, trapped for eternity. Just kidding. Let's go inside the Zoom and just see what this track looks like. It's called Die Some, like I said. It's a song about loss. So I'm going to go down, like every time something bad happens, a little part of you dies, especially when you lose a loved one. Okay, so now I'm going to open up Die Some. It says DIS 113, I have no idea why. Audio. Alright, so look at all these tracks. I got acoustic guitar 1, 3, and B. Oh man. Bass drum new. Guitar break 1, guitar break 2. Guitar chorus double. Okay, that's right and left. Guitar intro. Guitar main left, right, left overhead. And then I have all these masters. It's got 6, oh, it has two mastered versions of this track. Then I have my right overhead, my snares. There's 3 snares. I've got three vocals in there. Wow. All right. I am glad that this is already done. After looking at that list, it reminds me of working on the other tune, and I'm just glad that I'm done with that, because it is so much work putting these things together, I swear to God. So, now to get out of this, you just hit exit here. I'm sorry, you drag it out here, and then you hit exit here, and you got to wait till everything clears. Otherwise, it'll do that annoying warning on the computer telling you you've disconnected your data incorrectly or improperly. Okay, so now going to the Zoom. Let's just start by playing the drums. I'll just let you hear the drums. And I'll talk about what, oh, and at the very beginning of this, you can hear me talking to myself saying, hey, you better get this take. And I remember now, this is what's so cool about this. I remember now that I was scheduled to practice that evening with my band, you know, for a live show. They weren't recording on it. And these guys actually don't play with me anymore, unfortunately. They were good guys, but they don't play with me anymore. But they were coming to rehearse, and I had done several takes, and I was really frustrated, so I basically told myself, all right, man, come on. This is it. You better get it this time. And you can hear me saying that. I don't know if it'll come. I think you'll be able to hear it. But anyway, I'm going to run these drums back. We'll start with just the snare, and then I'll build it up. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can hear me talking. Should come up soon. Unless I'm not connected. Oh, there it is. I'll play the talking bit in a minute. Okay, that's the snare. 2 snares. Here comes the, wait, let me see if I put one back here. That's the bass. We'll get to that in a second. Alright, so here's the left overhead, which is has the big shape effect on it. Here we go. Right now we have the right overhead. This mic over here. bass drum. Triplets all the way through. All the way through, except for the little break moments. Bass drum. To get the guitar. Okay, that's the first guitar. Let me go find the bass. Okay, let's go find the vocal real quick. Let me go forward a little bit more. It's one of those songs where the vocal doesn't start right away.
There's a bass in the back of the house where your dad song. Memories crystalline set the scene and you cry. You cried song. And you die. Where your dad song. Now you're fine.
Okay, real quick, let's just do the guitars with the drums because I'm trying to get the acoustic right, just to show you what that sounded like. Okay, here we go. Here's the song. I'll try to mix it on the fly and just get it decent. So it starts with drums. Hold on, let me see if here I can hear. Let's see if I can hear myself saying that thing. Okay, here it is. It's right at the beginning. Listen carefully. I'll turn it way up. Okay, it said that's it. Last time. See if I can hear it one more time. It gets so stressful. Even by yourself, it gets stressful. That's why I like to record with real amps, is you get the feedback, so it sounds alive, you know, and like raw and real. So I'm still happy with that. I feel like that turned out well. I don't know if people like the song that much or not, but the recording feels good. Like, I was worried that going back to this, I would think that what I was doing now was so much better. And I have improved. I'm getting more consistent results, but I had such a distinctive idea about what to do with this record, and I'm glad that I went in with a plan and just sort of stuck to it, because I can tell that I had like one thought, and I just kind of, I hung with that one thought and completed something that you know, makes sense. I don't know, I'm excited to hear it again. It doesn't make me hate it like sometimes when you go back and revisit old material, you know, yuck, what was I thinking? Alright, so I plan on doing this with several of the songs because it's fun and it helps me have a documentation of what it was I did, since I didn't think to record myself making that record, which was a stupid thing. I should have recorded that. But I didn't get the idea until, you know, the whole shutdown happened, and I started realizing, you know, I could just do a YouTube channel and keep a diary that way. Alright, next time. Thanks.